Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Raneem Qaddoura. I'm going to present for you the paper titled EvoCluster, an open source nature-inspired optimization clustering framework in Python by Raneem Qaddoura, Hossam, Faris, Ibrahim, Aljarah, Pedro, Castillo. Clustering is an unsupervised learning task which aims at grouping similar data points into the same cluster and dissimilar ones into different clusters by exploring common relationships between them. Clustering is essential in many applications. This is one of the applications where we want to segment customers according to their annual income and spending score. Segmenting these customers is important for future reasoning and decision making. Nature-inspired meta-heuristic algorithms are commonly utilized for performing partition clustering tasks. They are proven to be efficient for multiple scientific and engineering domains. These are some of the well-known and recent meta-heuristic optimizers, which are GA, PSO, SSA, and all the others. The main advantage of using these algorithms in clustering is the ability to explore and search for better grouping of data to achieve high quality clustering results. Many frameworks and libraries can be found in the literature that can be used for performing the clustering tasks. Some popular examples are Weka, Elki, Scikit-learn, and all the others. Some general purpose frameworks and libraries were developed to facilitate the use of nature-inspired meta-heuristic algorithms. EvoCluster is one of the recent open source Python frameworks that includes well-known and recent optimization algorithms. EvoCluster FS is another version of EvoCluster for feature selection. NeoPy is a Python micro framework for building nature-inspired algorithms. Other popular frameworks include Deep, ECJ, and all the others. To the best of our knowledge, we found only one framework, which is Leek, for clustering the evolutionary algorithms. Leek is implemented using C++. It includes 23 evolutionary algorithms for partial clustering. However, users tend to use other languages which have more libraries and packages such as Python. Also, Leek is only different variations of the evolutionary operators and do not include other algorithms. So there's a need for a framework of nature-inspired meta-heuristic clustering optimizers, which is not specific to the evolutionary algorithms. So we're introducing EvoCluster, an open source nature-inspired optimization clustering framework in Python. It is implemented as a flexible framework which includes several nature-inspired meta-heuristic optimizers for performing the clustering task. And it is an extension to the EvoCluster framework, which I just mentioned, which is implemented to serve any optimization problem. EvoCluster is extended in which the algorithms are customized for partitional clustering tasks. The current implementation of EvoCluster framework includes 10 meta-heuristic optimizers, 30 datasets, 5 objective functions, and 12 evaluation measures. To the best of our knowledge, EvoCluster framework is the first framework in Python for clustering data using the selected meta-heuristic optimizers. Well, our motivation is to provide an open source and cross-platform framework for clustering using nature-inspired meta-heuristic algorithms, as there is not much available free code for researchers in this area. The aim is to provide an open source framework which is simple and user-friendly. And since Python is a rapid development language that is recognizably growing in the data science and machine learning fields, Python was selected for implementing this framework. EvoCluster is comprehensive and easy to understand and use. It is scalable and can be customized to provide more algorithms, evaluation measures, objective functions, and more datasets. And it is time efficient and provides high quality results. It is suitable for experienced and non-experienced users. The framework consists of 6 main components. The first one is the optimizer, which is the main interface of the framework. In the optimizers, user can select the set of optimizers, datasets, objective functions that they prefer for running their experiments. They can select the evaluation measures for evaluating the results generated from the framework. They can specify the main parameters that are common for most optimizers, which are the number of iterations and the population size. The number of runs can also be determined through the interface. The implementation of 10 optimizers is currently visible as a separate file for each framework. The optimizers that are available at the time of writing this paper are genetic algorithm, particle swarm optimization, swarm algorithm, firefly algorithm, gray wolf optimizer, wheel optimization algorithm, multiverse optimizer, moth flame optimizer, bat algorithm, and cuckoo search algorithm. The framework consists of the implementation of 5 objective functions, which are used to optimize the individuals at each iteration. The objective functions that are available at the time of writing this paper are sum of squared error, silhouette coefficient, TWCV, DB, and done index. The framework consists of the implementation of 12 evaluation measures, which are used to measure the quality of the results. The evaluation measures that are available at the time of writing this paper are the purity, entropy, homogeneity score, completeness score, V-measure, adjusted mutual information, adjusted rand index, sum of squared error, silhouette coefficient, TWCV, DB, and done index. The most common and well-known datasets used for clustering can be found in the framework. The list of datasets are available at the time of writing this paper are summarized in this table, which you can see here. They are gathered from Scikit-learn, UCI Machine Learning Repository, School of Computing at University of Eastern Finland, LP Kiel, and Naftali Harris blog. The results obtained by running the framework are gathered in 3 types of CSV files and 2 types of plots, which are the average results file, detailed results file, best individual labels file, convergence curve plot, and box plot, which I'll describe shortly. The first file is the average results file. This file gives the average results for running the framework on the selected optimizers, objective functions, and dataset. You can find the execution time, the average value of all the evaluation measures, and the average value of the objective functions at each iteration by combining the selected optimizer dataset and objective function. The second file is the detailed results file. It gives detailed results for performing each run of the framework. So we can see at each row that we have the results for each run. It also gives the execution time for the run, the value of each external measure, and the value of the objective function at each iteration, but for each run. This is the best individual labels file. It includes the value of the labels obtained from the best individual at the last iteration of each run. So we can find here a row for each run, and we can find the labels for the best individual at the last iteration for this run. This figure is the convergence curve plot. After running the convergence curve script, a separate plot is generated for convergence curve of the set of selected optimizers for each objective functions at each dataset. So the convergence curve looks like this for every optimizer. This figure is the box plot, which is commonly used for summarizing a set of data measures on an interval scale. The framework generates the box plot to represent the evaluation measures for each set of several runs of the framework, where each box represents one of the selected optimizers. Each box represents the optimizers. The framework is successfully published at EvoStar 2020 conference and at the proceedings of Evo Applications 2020. The source code is available at GitHub, Google Colab, and EvoML websites. This is the evoml.com website, where you can find the EvoCluster brief description and source code. This is this one is the GitHub source code for the framework. And this is the Colab implementation of the framework. I want to show you a demo using Colab. At first, you can see that we have some description of the framework and related technical presentation. You can start by running the git command to add a local git repository to the script. You can then select the optimizers by setting the value of the optimizers to true. You can set several optimizers, the value of several optimizers to true. I will just specify the PSO as the optimizer which I want to run my experiments with to make the experiments easy to view in this demo. You then select the set of objective functions where you want to run your experiments with. You can set the value as true as well. I'm setting only the SSE as true. Then you must choose the dataset that you want, the datasets that you want to apply the framework on. I'm just setting 2 datasets, but of course you can set more datasets to for running this framework. You can find the datasets inside the framework. 30 datasets, as I said, that was gathered from multiple sources. I've just chosen Jane and Iris datasets. You can select the number of runs that you wish to run your experiments. And the parameters as well, the population size and the iterations. Users can decide if the current if they should export the results into the results file we've mentioned earlier. So I'm setting the average file to true and the detailed files to true as well. And of course, we want to change the current directory to the directory of the framework in order for it to run. Finally, we should run the function which can give us an observation of the results. I didn't do this. Okay. So again, I would want to run this one. And this one. I just didn't run the above command. Okay, then we can see that the framework is running and it's improving the value of the objective function, as we can see. We can see that we selected Jane and with the number of on run 2 and the selected optimizer. It keeps running for each combination of dataset, optimizer, and objective function until it reaches the end. After 1 or 2 minutes of running the framework on the 2 datasets and 1 optimizer and 1 objective function, we can view the final results in the files that I've mentioned. You can see the 3 CSV files. Of course, you can view them through Google Colab. You can see the results for each evaluation measures and each iteration. And of course, you can download the file and view it on your machine. So this is for the demo. As for the conclusion and future work, I've just represented EvoCluster, which is an open source framework implemented in Python, which have several nature-inspired meta-heuristic optimizers to optimize the clustering results and to have high quality of results. You can select from 10 optimizers, 30 data sets, 5 objective functions, and 12 evaluation measures. And the framework can be extended to provide more data sets, optimizers, evaluation measures, and objective functions, which is what we're looking for future work. This is it. So thank you all for listening to this presentation. And anyone that have any questions, please let me know.
Okay. Thank you very much, Raneem. It seems. Is there any question for him?
Yes, I have a question. Antonio.
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
I cannot raise my hand because I'm the host. That's because I interrupt you. Sorry. So thank you very much for the presentation. I found the work really interesting. And I think it's a very good tool. My question, I have two questions. First, when you select the objective you are going to apply in the framework, if you select several objectives, is that a multi-objective approach or is just a sequential approach? I mean, you evaluate each objective with each algorithm.
I don't know if I understand your question well, but I think you're asking if the code is working sequentially for each optimizer that I've selected and set the value as true.
Yes. So, for example, if you select 3 objectives,
okay,
you evaluate with one objective and then with another and so on.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's working sequentially.
Oh, okay. Okay. If, for example, when you have a data set, you have a set of files, or how is the data set? Is just a Can you please show an example of the data set?
Yes, of course.
For example, the blood one. So
this is the attributes, and at the end, I will open another one so that you can scroll. Okay, the last column is the label, so that I can evaluate the quality of the results which was generated by the optimizer. And those are all the attributes of the data sets, the value of the attribute at each instance.
Okay, I will have a look by my own. Thank you. I think we can use for some applications. So if I have any question, I will contact with Pedro and you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. There is another question by Pablo. Pablo, you want to ask Raneem by yourself? I mean, with your microphone? Or the question is in the chat.
Yes, well, it's already in the chat, the question. Are you planning to upload the package to be downloaded using pip?
Actually, it's a good suggestion. Of course, it's something I should do. Thank you.
Great.
Okay. Any other question? Well, then thank you very much again, Raneem. And this is the last talk of the session. So this is the end, unfortunately. And I invite you to attend to the plenary talk at 12 in the Species YouTube channel. Please check the detailed program for the link or the other program. I think you can just click and attend the conference. So thank you very much for being here in this session, and see you in the future.